know I wrote a book, right? It's called Buy a Game and it's free. Click the link down there, you got it.
DreAllday.com.
Today we're talking about how to handle your problems. Now, everybody has problems, no matter how good you are, how successful you are or are not, how much bulletproof your mindset is or isn't, you will always have problems. So I'm going to tell you right now how you're going to handle any problem that you have in life right this instant, exactly how you're going to do it. All right, number one thing you're going to do to handle your problems in life is you need to see it realistically exactly as it is. A lot of times when we run into problems, first thing that happens is our emotions get engaged. We start thinking about all the things that could go wrong. If you watch me for the first time, my name is DreAllday. Make sure you follow me here on Periscope because I do these every day. The first time you get hit with a problem, the first thing that happens is your emotions start running wild. You start thinking of all the things that can go wrong because of this problem. Not only are you thinking of the problem itself, you're thinking about all the ramifications of the problem. Like, all right, if this problem hits now, this is going to happen, and that's going to happen, and that's going to happen. It's like the mental dominoes start following in your head. You never had that happen? When a problem hits, you start thinking of all the other things that's going to go wrong just because of that one problem. So what you need to do when a problem hits you, a situation that you don't like confronts you, the first thing you need to do is look at it realistically, which means you see it as it is. Don't make it bigger than it is because of your fear or because of your stress or because of anxiety, and don't minimize it and act like it doesn't exist, because when you act like a problem doesn't exist, you know what happens. The problem just gets bigger and it gets worse. So you need to see it exactly as it is. That's the number one step. See your problems exactly as they are, not as you wish them to be, not that you hope that they went away, not bigger than they are. That's the number one thing. Number two thing you're going to do when you get confronted with a problem is what we call the smallest common denominator. The smallest common denominator means you're going to take your issue, your situation, your challenge, whatever it is, and you're going to break it down to the smallest common denominator. What is the smallest common denominator? That is the easiest, simplest thing that you can do right now in this very moment to confront that issue. The simplest thing you can do right now to confront the issue that you're facing. That's the smallest common denominator. So you need to identify what that smallest common denominator is. Number three step. Once you identify that smallest common denominator, you're looking at it realistically. Number three is you're going to take action to get out in front of the problem. See, what happens sometimes when people get hit with an issue, this is what they do. They violate the first rule because they start looking at it emotionally. They start looking emotionally at all the things that can make it wrong, all the things that can make it worse. Their emotions start making it bigger than it is. They start thinking about all the other things that are going to happen because of this one problem. And then what do? Number two, they've already made it bigger, so they're not breaking it down to the smallest common denominator. They're making it bigger. They're making it the largest common factor. So they're making the problem bigger and bigger. They're multiplying it in their heads. And then the number three thing that they do is they take no action, because the bigger you make a problem seem in your mind, the harder it's going to be for you to do something about it, and unless you want to take action, because fear disables people. Fear keeps people from taking action. Fear cripples you. It makes you not want to do anything. It makes your mind stop thinking. You lose all your mental momentum. You lose your physical momentum. You never take any action. And then because you're afraid of something, you made it bigger than it is already. Then what happens? It actually does get bigger because you aren't doing anything. You aren't taking any action to get out in front of it. So you're going to reverse this whole situation. So number one, let me recap the three things. Number one is look at the situation realistically, because there are no real such things as problems. No such things as surprises. There are things that happen. There are just things that happen, circumstances. See them as they are, exactly as they are, number one. Not bigger, not smaller. Don't act like they don't exist. Don't make it bigger than it is because your emotions. See it as it is, number one. Number two, break it down to the smallest common denominator. What can I do right now to confront this issue? What's one thing? One small step I can do right now. And if you think there's nothing you can do, there's always one thing you can do, which is adjust the way that you decide to think about the problem. Adjust the way that you decide to think about the circumstance or the situation or the way that you see it. You can always do that. Even if you can't do nothing else, you can always do that. And number three thing you do is take some action to get you out in front of the issue. So don't wait for the issue to get bigger. Don't wait for people to find out about it. Don't wait for it to become a bigger situation than it is. Do something right now to get you out in front of it so you can take some action and maybe make something happen proactively in your favor to get rid of the situation, make the situation better, completely eliminate it, let other people know, whatever it is you got to do. Everybody got what I just said. My name is Dre Baldwin. For those who don't know, my website is in my bio link. It's called DreAllday.com. I do these Periscope streams all the time. I appreciate that. Who's that? D. Pre Staples. I do these streams all the time, usually at least once a day, sometimes twice or three times a day. And I talk about these things as a speaker. I talk about them in my books. I talk about them in my blogs. I got some webinars coming up. Just follow my Periscope. You'll know about it. Check my Snapchat too. My Snapchat is @Dre Baldwin. So any of y'all on Snap, follow me on Snap. Let me know you found me on Periscope. I'll shout you out on my Snapchat. But you got to hit me on Snap today at Dre Baldwin, and I will shout you back out. I got books on Amazon, DreAllday.com/Amazon or /iBooks. I got a lot of stuff online. Y'all just look me up. I'm everywhere. I got a podcast too. That's another thing. My podcast is called Work on Your Game. I'm in the new and noteworthy in the sports section right now, but I got people in front of me, so I gotta get more noteworthy when it comes to my podcast. So if you haven't been on my podcast yet, go find the Work on Your Game podcast, subscribe, and leave a rating. A rating and a review is what pushes me up the rankings. Somebody said talk about speaking in public. I'm gonna write that down. I'm gonna talk about it tomorrow. I'm gonna talk about speaking in public for any people who have a challenge with speaking in front of an audience and things like that. All right, I'm gonna talk about that tomorrow. I'm gonna write it down, and I'll do that stream either tomorrow morning or tomorrow evening. So just make sure you follow my scope so you can catch it. And also hit my Snapchat at Dre Baldwin. If you got any other ideas, I do respond to snaps as long as you ask me a good question. I'm doing great. Black Hybrid 23. I'm doing fantastic. How you doing, man? Everybody, my name's Dre Baldwin. I already told you who I am. You already know where to find me. Is there anywhere else that I could be that I didn't say? I told y'all where my book's at. My website is DreAllday. I told you my Snap. My Twitter is DreAllday. My IG is Dre Baldwin. What else is there? My podcast is Work on Your Game. My books is on Amazon and on iBooks. My webinars is on my website. You good? That's what's up. Shout out to Australia. Be Dynamic Sports. You want me to talk about self-publishing? All right, I'm going to write it down. Yeah, I'm on YouTube. My YouTube is Dre UPT, or just type in my name, Dre Baldwin. Thank you, KJ. My YouTube channel. I'll be forgetting to talk about YouTube, and I've been on YouTube longer than all that other stuff. Probably because I've been around it the longest. But yes, my YouTube channel is at Dre UPT. Am I writing more books this year? Hell yeah. I'm writing a whole bunch more books. I said I'm putting out 10 in 2016. I already said that. I put out 2 so far, so I got 8 to go. The next one will be Mirror Motivation Part 2. I'm still working on that one. 3% of adults have written goals. That's right. I've heard that study. All right, everybody. Hit me on my Snapchat at Dre Baldwin. Y'all want to talk to me more, I will respond to your Snap. You asked me a good question. Austin said, do I personally mentor? I personally coach people. Mentoring and coaching. I don't do mentoring like right now where I just volunteer my time to other people because I don't have much to volunteer, but I do coach people if that's what you're asking. If you got specific questions about hooping, look on my website, DreAllday/help. I didn't cover almost everything. My Periscope name, I'm on Periscope, is at DreAllday. DreAllday is my Periscope name. If you just swipe to the right, you can see my Periscope name and just follow me. Oh, you lost me before? Yeah, hit me on my Periscope is at DreAllday. That's the same as my Twitter. My IG and my Snap is at Dre Baldwin. It's at Dre Baldwin. Send me an email if you're interested in mentoring or coaching. You have to send me an email or a Snap. My email address is dre@dreallday.com. Dre, my first name, at dreallday.com. How do people take you seriously as a player and a person? Well, I would need more context to know the answer to that question, but I think the first place you can start is reading my book called The Mental Handbook. That's at DreAllday.com/mental. So I go like Chris Bosh, older brother. I never heard anybody say Chris Bosh. I've heard other players, but I never heard Chris Bosh. How much is this tank? I think it is $22, I believe. Go to hoophandbook.com. Hoophandbook.com. Thank you, whoever that was that said wise young man. I appreciate that. So anyway, my Snap is at Dre Baldwin, my podcast. If y'all can do anything after this, and y'all want to show me some support for you like this scope, go to the iTunes podcast app, whatever you got, and hit up the Work on Your Game podcast and subscribe. First physical impressions are key. Is that a question or a statement? How to recognize your self-worth. In what? In what area? Thank you, King Carter. If you like King Carter, did you leave me a review? Did you subscribe and review the podcast? Can you please give me a 5-star review? That's what I need. A 5-star review is very important. Thank you, DePrestales. All right, what's the question, Medeiros? All right, thank you, King Carter. I appreciate that in advance. Anybody who's heard the podcast, please subscribe, leave a review, leave a 5-star rating, because that'll push me up the new and noteworthy rankings. So I want to be number 1. I think number 1 in sports right now is this dude who used to play in the NFL named Hines Ward. Y'all know Hines Ward. He ain't that old. How long this scope been on? Probably about 10 minutes. I try to get these in quick. I don't like to do super long scopes since people don't stick around. So I want to make sure I get to the point, get the information out quick, and anybody want to stick around, ask questions, I'll answer the questions, but I get to the point very quick. All right, well, Beat Rock, look, you can just watch the replay. It ain't going to be that long. That's why I try to keep them quick, because I got to respect people's time. I used to do super long scopes, but I lose a lot of people while I was doing it, so I want to do them quick and get it out the way. having self-worth and confidence being social, well, then you got to take my course called People Skills on my website, KJ, and read my book, The Super You, which is about confidence. So those two I kind of covered already. All right, everybody, go watch the replay if you missed this. Please tap the screen for the hearts for y'all doing it. My snap at Dre Baldwin. I will respond to your snaps. You got any questions for me, you can hit me directly right on Snapchat at Dre Baldwin. Please go subscribe to my podcast. Listen to my podcast first. If you don't like it, don't subscribe. But if you like it, subscribe, leave a rating, review it. And y'all know where to find me right here on Periscope every single day. This is what I do. Everybody work on your games. DreAllday.com. Make sure you follow me on social media, Snapchat. You see it right there. The code's going to come up. Dre Baldwin. My Instagram is the same name, at Dre Baldwin. My Twitter and my Periscope, both at DreAllday. Y'all know my website, DreAllday.com. Any business inquiries, hit me via email, Dre@DreAllday.com, or you can just send me a snap. Work on your game. Dre all day.